Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. We're a Moxie podcast, we're a CP podcast where we want to have an open discussion about CP, covering pretty much everything, the good, the bad, the funny, the challenges, and just share our overall experiences. My name is Sonia, and then we have Sarah, and then we have Carson, and Sarah's gonna talk to you guys about what this episode is gonna be about.
Hey guys, so on today's episode we wanted to welcome you into our world, and that we wanted to explain what a typical day looks like from three individuals with CP. Although we have the same disability, we all have three different objectives and goals throughout the day. Likely we will all handle them differently. I believe able-bodied people paint with broad brushes when it comes to individuals with physical disabilities. We just want to be transparent and give you an honest view of what a typical day in the life is for three individuals with CP. Sonia, when you start waking up, what's the first thing you kind of do, and what's the process for you?
Well, when I wake up, first I try stretching, like very like I don't do like a full elaborate routine because I want to like start my day and I don't want to get too tired. But I kind of
Yeah.
like will just like extend my arms, my legs, do this because I heard that your neck muscles, even for able-bodied people, people don't really take like stretching their neck seriously. I'll just
Mhm.
kind of do that. First thing I do is pee. That's my TMI, but
Me
um,
too.
but gotta get that out of my system when I wake up. And then I kind of, yeah, just prepare for my day. What about you guys?
So mine's like super complicated. So I wake up, I pee. I pray to God that, so I wake up super early.
I
So
know
I
your
do
text
that.
coming so early, and I'm like, that's my mid sleep.
I know. I wake up like legit 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock some days. And so I do that because I need my coffee. First thing I have to get my coffee. And if the baby's still sleeping, I can like get some me time, plan my day. And my body is so stiff in the morning and my neck is horribly stiff. So I do try to stretch out too. Um, but sometimes it just hurts so bad. So I take my um Baclofen and
Oh,
then
can you
add the
stomach?
oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never taken it on an empty stomach. I got scared.
I take all my vitamins on an empty stomach
Okay, I
too.
need to
It
take that
just
back morning then.
yeah. And then I kind of sit down and relax and try to drink my coffee, and
Right.
hopefully by the time I'm done, my neck kind of feels a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what else? I try to plan out my day because with Andy, usually we go somewhere throughout whatever gymnastics, toddler time. So I just try to plan the day ahead so I'm ready to take care of her and whatever when she starts waking up. What else?
Wow, planner, that's good. I need some inspiration from that.
Well, you know what? Everything I do takes me literally forever, so I kind of have to plan or I'll always be late.
Right, keep
So,
yourself on track. Time management. I'm always late. It's so bad.
yeah.
What about you,
Um,
Carson?
yeah.
Uh, well, when I wake up, I'm like, oh, another day in this old body, you know. And then, same thing as you guys. Morning peas suck, you know. Um, and then, brush your teeth and stuff. And
Yep.
I don't know. I wake up kind of slowly, so it takes me like a while to like, get adjusted to the day or
um,
whatever.
I want to say this. Do you guys feel rested when you wake up?
No,
Or do you
no, I
feel
never do.
like groggy and like, ugh?
Oh, oh yeah, I never do. I never feel like it doesn't even matter like if it's 9 or 10 hours of sleep. I always
Mhm.
feel like more tired. Like I could still
That's me
keep sleeping.
95% of the time. I would, oh my God, my voice. Like, that's me
Yeah,
95% of the time. Like, yeah, I would say even if I get like this perfect sleep, which is rare, it's still like, what? I feel like low key, like I'm living off 4 hours of sleep. But then there are the few nights where I do feel rested. I wake up the next day, like, actually
yeah,
ready to
and
tackle it.
that actually brings up a good thing too. And I don't know if that's just a part of like CP just like aging us more. Because I swear to God, like when I was a teenager, I used to be able to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours and get up and feel just fine throughout the day. You
I
know,
noticed that the hardest part, though, low key, is getting my ass out of bed. Once I do that, I can find the energy to do things. But like, if I will like sometimes feel like crashing out at like 2 p.m. But if I do
yeah,
wake up early,
well, yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's one thing too is I find because I'm gonna be honest, I have not really been like physically active lately, and I've noticed and stuff. It seems like I think a lot of people with CP, I think we probably face like insomniac like symptoms because it's like me. I know there's a reason why I'm usually up late. It's because I don't really use energy out of my body, so I have all this energy in my mind and stuff. So I just keep going and going and going and going and going.
Mm.
It's like my mind never gets tired, and I don't know. It could just be just I guess a unique mind or whatever. But it's really interesting. I just always wondered if a lot of people felt like that because they felt trapped in their body and stuff, so they just overproduced in their brain, and
right, and
so
then you can't
it
get your
kind of
brain to
led
turn
to
off
being
because your body
restlessness.
is so
But yeah, I don't drink coffee at all because I think it makes me anxious and stuff, and caffeine just goes right through me, and I don't like peeing 30 times a day.
caffeine makes
Um,
me sleepy. I low key should start drinking it before I
so,
sleep.
but yeah, I don't really. I don't know. I notice I'm usually kind of grumpy when I first wake up, but other than that and stuff, not really that hard of a time
Wait, Sarah, did
waking
you
up.
want to say something? I thought I saw your mouth open.
No, probably not. Sorry.
Probably not. I just wanted to ask you guys, like, when you're sleeping, I know able-bodied people have this, like, I don't know, it happens to me,
Eddie,
especially. Oh, she's so cute.
I'm sorry. I can't tell if that's her. Eddie! Adeline!
Oh, that's her full name. Cute.
Yeah.
I knew it was a short name, but I didn't know what her full name was. I thought it was
What's
like
wrong?
Adeline or something.
I'm scared.
Why? Oh God, you're huge. Okay.
I was scared.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she's
Okay.
scared.
Say hi. Or don't. Okay, keep going. I'm
Hi.
sorry.
Um, Go ahead, Sonia.
Oh, my bad. What I was gonna ask guys, because I know like able-bodied people like suffer with this too, but I feel like recently, like for me, it's been more prevalent. Is like I get like the sensation that I'm falling, and so I have so right when I'm falling asleep, then I'm all that just jerks me wide awake. Does that happen to you guys? Or like I randomly like get spasms, and then I always have such a hard time falling back asleep. Like I cannot stay asleep.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, oh no. I was just gonna say yeah. Like I don't know if it's related or whatever, but I know and stuff like I have a lot of nightmares and stuff, and there's like
Oh.
times like where like I'll like kind of jolt awake where I'm like, oh my, like and it's kind of like a jolt, and
Oh.
also in the morning and stuff too. I'm sure you guys kind of feel that like your first like 4 minutes like getting up like walking around, you're like super sore, and like your bones kind of hurt more than usual, but after like
Oh
a little
yeah,
bit of
especially my
movement,
right arm.
you start feeling better. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
used to
no.
get horrible traveling horses and like my calves, and then it would wake me up. And man, those are bad. They
How
went
did you
away
work
though.
through that to
I
get rid of
think it was through my teenage years. I think it was sort of like a hormonal growing type changes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point too. It's like, when you're a teenager and you hear about people saying you're gonna get growing pains
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. I never really knew if I experienced that because my legs
I
just hurt in
didn't.
general.
Right.
I stopped growing by like the age of 11, hence my short height.
Mama.
Yeah, I didn't really
Oh yeah, how tall are you guys?
I'm like
5'2".
5'11".
I'm 5.
Oh, you're tall. Wait, Sarah, what about you? You seem
Uh,
tall.
No, I'm 5 foot.
Well, you
Oh,
know what
you're
doctors
5
are?
foot?
Yeah.
You thought you were so tall. Oh my god,
No.
You know what's funny though is I remember
Stop.
doctors, they actually asked me and stuff. They said
And
because
Go
my
away.
dad's pretty tall, and they were actually concerned about that because they asked me. They said you don't need to be tall. They said
Oh.
because we don't want you to get too tall because it'll actually make your legs weaker.
Oh god, I've heard
Yeah,
the SCP can screw with
yeah.
that.
Because if you actually think about it, most people that you meet that have CP and stuff, they're usually shorter.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Or like,
and
is one of your guys' legs like longer than the others? Because my right
yeah,
leg.
my left leg's longer by like 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, literally
I
mine too.
think I am the same, but I think it's really insignificant because I am so short. So
Right, so it
yeah.
doesn't matter whether if you were tall, you might
Well,
be a little more.
yeah, it's like for example, I know with shoes. Actually, that's why I got a shoe lift on one of my shoes.
Oh,
It just goes inside the shoe, and it'll definitely help. Like if you guys have a leg discrepancy, I'd get that done and stuff because it'll actually definitely help because it actually throws off your whole entire your whole entire skeletal gait and the way you walk,
oh, I'm sure it
and
does.
it'll actually lead to hip pain and stuff more if you have a big discrepancy there.
Yeah,
I have
know. The way I
terrible
walk
hip
is.
pain. My hips pop.
Oh god, I get that too. Though randomly like pop, and I'm like, bro, what? I didn't
Oh,
even
that's
do anything.
Oh, I know. Hip hop's like kind of gross because you feel like you're like, did something just dislocate?
I
I
feel
see.
like
I
they're.
low key almost feel something like move, although I know it's like my
I
body.
know they feel like loose almost. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though is like when you're a kid, I never popped. My body never popped when I was a little kid. And it's like now and stuff. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like
Popping
it's
machine.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like sticks breaking. But yeah, I remember the doctors explaining that to me, and they actually told me they actually lay down a certain weight. They said we don't want you to ever go over this weight because it'll be also be harder on your legs.
Right.
Um, yeah, because I'm pretty skinny. I'm only like 150 pounds,
Oh
but
no, 5'11". Yeah, that is skinny.
yeah, but I just it's like that. I've never met a person that was overweight with CP ever.
Yeah, no, I've been really skinny, and I low key get like shamed for that. Like people are like, you should eat more. Why are you so skinny? Which is like
Mhm.
kind of triggering in a way.
Well, yeah, because and you know what's funny about that, Sonya, is I faced that in my life too, because I actually only just started putting on weight in the past year. I was usually like
That's
130 pounds, so pretty
Oh wow,
thin.
you put on a decent amount of weight. Good job.
Yeah, but a lot of people and stuff, I face that too, where a lot of people are like, you need to put some meat on your bones, you need to start eating
Yeah,
more, da 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 da, and it's like it's actually really hard to gain weight with CP.
because we burn our calories so quick, and I don't mean for this to come off the wrong way, but like I'm not trying to like fat shame anyone or anything, but like you won't tell someone to lose weight, but why are you telling me to gain weight? Do you get what I mean? Like why is it not as much of a stigma or as
Well,
shamed upon to tell someone you need
and
to gain
you guys
weight?
want to know something that's funny? So I looked this up out of curiosity, right? You know that the average woman in today's world weighs 170 pounds.
Oh wow, I'm like
Did you
half of
know
that.
that the average man weighs 190? Yeah. Then if you compare that to 1960, because I looked this up, the average woman was like 140 pounds, and the average man was 160 pounds.
Is this American stats? I think this is low key
Yes,
probably like
we are the most obese country in the whole entire world.
it's all the processed shit.
And I would never judge someone because their weight, because I've often noticed that
Everyone has their own.
heavy set people are often the nicest.
They are. I
You
think
know,
everyone who has faced some
um,
adversity turns out a bit.
and it's like I've told my fiance before. I've when I used to date when I was a teenager. I've dated heavy set girls. I've dated skinny girls all over the place because it's weight. Weight can come, weight can go. Someone can lose a bunch of weight and
Yeah,
look like
people's
a
weights fluctuate.
yeah. People can lose a bunch of weight and look like a model. People can gain a bunch of weight and they don't resemble anything like they used to. It's a
Mm-hmm.
part of life. Who cares?
No, people put
You
way
know,
too much emphasis on
and
weight.
I don't know. I've always kind of it's like with people, I guess, in minority categories, that probably got treated bad. I always got along the best with them.
Yeah, no, that's
You know what I
understandable. I
mean?
mean, I
Like,
am a minority and I
I
have
don't, I,
heard
I don't,
something.
I don't know about you guys and stuff, but I've always got along with kind of like the whole like. And don't get me wrong, I should have been more careful. Um, but I always got along with like the outsiders in school, like the druggy kids, or like
The
the
druggy kids. Okay, I didn't get
yeah,
it.
or like the like emo kids, or like that just like the outsiders of school.
Right, because you almost feel like an outsider and you can like connect over that.
Oh yeah,
Like
I
you
always
feel a sense of belonging for
oh
once.
my god, and it always used to piss me off, the fucking stuck up kids and stuff in school that have a bunch of money and they're all sporty and shit. I always hated that crowd of people.
Oh, I avoid them.
They were always so obnoxious and overly douchey, and they always
So fake.
and they were always just dumb too. Like it used to always cringe me and stuff where people were like, yeah, I chase a ball and I make it my whole entire life over a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Over a ball. Just think about that. How stupid do people have to be to make their whole entire life revolve
Because
around
they
a ball
had
that's filled with it?
nothing better to fuss
Exactly.
about. That's the thing.
And I just find it interesting. Like, you guys should go back. For example, like I always read biographies and stuff about people, and I listen to old interviews from a long time ago. With less education, people used to speak a lot more eloquently and a lot more just like their overall flow was just beautiful, and they used to not curse or anything. Did you guys know and stuff that in the 1960s there was only three movies and up until that point where there was nudity or cursing involved in any film?
Hmm. I feel like that just it's become more accepted. I don't know if that's like linked to education. I just feel like it's
Oh no,
become
it's not linked to education, but
popular.
it's linked to morality and the standards. And honestly, the generation that messed that up was the hippies in the '60s and stuff with drug use and free
Right.
culture and all these things. Did you guys know? I'm sorry and stuff. I'm gonna go on a little tangent here,
This
but
is like a
It's
trivia or
okay.
like a Q&A.
but
We'll
but like for
go.
example,
We'll get back to it when you're done.
so for
Well,
example, birth control came out in 1960. Okay, and did
Oh.
you guys know that up in so they did another study in 1975. Did you guys know that 75% of people had premarital sex compared to 1960 before birth control came out?
I think
And
I don't want
there
to get
was
like, but yeah, birth control. Some people will just get on the pill just for safety
yeah,
measures.
just you know how many
Yeah.
girls and but
no. People
well
do not just. There's
well well
many reasons people
No, I
well
get
know
well,
on the
there's
well
many
pill.
reasons. My reason for getting on birth control was not for that. I'm just saying I know girls
mhm.
from firsthand
Well,
experience.
yes, absolutely. There is other reasons due to hormonal imbalances, hormonal acne,
Cramps.
and such, and
Mhm.
and I agree with that. But there is a large percentage though that use it as some sort of a uh, you know protection measure that, unfortunately and stuff. Yes, is there a case where women need it for certain things? Because, like I said, I remember I had some cousins that had horrendous acne. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't know about
And
acne.
I felt really, really bad for them. In my opinion, though, there's pros and cons to every single thing, right? For
Yeah.
example, that I'd say that that's a con of it, but there are pros, and there's no denying that. But I'm just saying, though, I find it very, very interesting and stuff that people often take advantage of good things and they push it way too far
No, I think that's very fair.
in society, and it's kind of getting to the point and stuff in today's world and stuff that we're we lost the sense of what's good, and we used things that could have helped us as a society, and
Couldn't we
we
say the same about like AI?
oh AI is garbage though. It's taken away from the human uniqueness and the human
It's taking
mind.
away jobs, but to an extent it can be good. But when it's getting overused and used for the wrong
Yeah, but
reasons, is where it can
yeah.
become
So
detrimental.
for example, it's like with in the medical field with like AI robotic joints and things like that that'll help people and bones and such, and like artificial arms and stuff for people. I think that's awesome in the medical field. That's
Mhm.
great, because some of the stuff that they came out with, for example, I remember talking to some old timers from back in the day. They told me, like my grandfather, he went through terrible medical stuff, and he said, I asked him, I said, well, why didn't you guys do this or that? He's like, Carson, he's like, the medical field then was a lot different.
It's really advanced.
compared to now. He's like, if I would have known the technology that was going to come out, my life would have been completely different. Because back then and stuff, they only had a few medicines, and that was it.
Yeah, the times have definitely evolved in the medical.
Oh, exactly.
For sure.
And but it's like I can't imagine the people that were born with CP and stuff before medical stuff came out, medical advancement and stuff. I mean, that'd be a scary time. And I remember.
Have you guys ever seen the movie My Left Foot?
No, I haven't.
I have not.
You should check it out. Wow, it's really good.
Well,
But go
I,
ahead.
I remember my dad once told me, I was a teenager and I kind of got upset about it, inside. But I remember he told me, he said, "Did you know?" He said, "If you would have been born a long time ago, they would have probably killed you, because a long time ago and stuff, they viewed people that have disabilities as being
probably
evil."
would have died. I mean, just
Yeah,
because
all the
of
complications.
yeah, but he was telling me though that they viewed some people that had CP and stuff as some sort of like sorcery or witchery, because they viewed us as that we were evil, and so many people
Yeah,
and stuff
they also
were.
thought women were witches, though. So I mean, it was all
Mhm.
across the board.
Isn't that crazy though? That
Yeah.
just because someone was born different, they thought that we were gonna be
Physically, yeah.
that we were gonna be dark and we were gonna be all witchery and stuff. Um, and and it's actually kind of funny though. It's like that. I'm like, wow. I mean, some of that stuff was less than 200 years ago. Where if we would have been born at that time, they would have been, all right, da 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 da.
Things change quickly for sure. It's
hmm
crazy.
And it's a scary time because it's like, okay, for example, even in the Holocaust, how many people with disabilities were killed?
Yeah, I'm sure they were
A
more
lot.
Never heard
A lot, because they wanted to purify the human race, and they thought anyone that had a disability, anyone that was homosexual, or anyone that was just strange, or didn't, fit the standard hair color or eye color that they wanted, dead. And it's just crazy to me and stuff, because it's like, wow, how blessed are we and stuff, though, at the same time to be born at a time where we get more of a voice.
And in America, I think we have much more rights, much more access to things. So.
We definitely do. Like now.
Have you guys ever, like, I remember when I was a teenager, I kind of, was just curious about it. I remember trying to look up famous people that had CP.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been there. I was
The
trying
guy
to like.
from Breaking Bad does. The kid.
He does? I mean, I've never watched
The
Breaking Bad.
son.
Wait,
Yeah.
is like
Yeah,
the main actor from Breaking Bad?
yeah, he's his name's R.J. Mitt, if I remember.
He
Okay,
is so cute too. Oh my god, so cute. Sorry.
I need to see. Oh my god. Wait, I'm gonna search that up after.
Google.
Holy shit.
Um,
But wait, I wanted to say, like, yeah, I did that. There was a period of time where I was like low key insecure about my CP, so I wanted motivation from like people famous or like success stories of people with CP, like just so that I could see like it is possible to do something. And more specifically, famous people, because I know like there's famous people with other disabilities, but you never really see a famous people with CP. So I don't know. I think I was looking for some sort of validation, and it was kind of hard to find. Like,
oh, it's very hard to find. I only came across, like, there was a few authors, and then there was a painter that I read about. He was a good painter. He'd paint with his toes.
right, you get really creative. Like, you can do your hobbies.
I just find it fascinating and stuff because the man actually died an alcoholic. But I remember when I read his story, it was really really interesting and stuff. It's just weird knowing that there was people that came like way before you. Like
they found a way.
yeah, and it's like, for example, I remember there's actually a girl on YouTube. She she uh she had it, and she would just talk about her everyday life and stuff, and she'd do blogs and stuff like that. And then there was I remember there used to be like a set of twins on YouTube. One twin had it and one twin didn't.
Oh, that's kind of cool to see. I hope that
people
grew up together and similar.
Yeah, and so it's really interesting though to learn about people's lives, and the variables and stuff, and because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's like, us three in particular, um, like it really helps you gain perspective and stuff, because there's points in time and stuff where you're so hard on yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, but then you read about someone's story and you're like, okay, yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
Right, or
You know
even
what I
just
mean?
having someone who understands you, it just makes you obviously it just makes you feel less alone, even if it doesn't make the situation any better. It just feeling like you're not alone is really helpful.
Exactly, and I think loneliness is probably one of the biggest things with CP. I was
Yeah,
actually
it's really
reading about
isolating.
I was on Reddit last night and
Oh, I
this
thought you deleted it.
I'm over
well
it.
sometimes I just get on there, when I look up something and questions
Right.
pop up.
It
I don't
is
have
helpful too.
I don't have an account or anything anymore. It's just kind of freelancing. But
Mm.
anyways, this guy was saying that he was talking about dating with CP, and he was saying that he said, "I wonder if women have an easier time than men do."
Really? Women
Uh,
with CP?
yeah, and here's the thing though is
Interesting.
he said most of these stories that I read on Reddit and stuff are usually men complaining about loneliness
Hmm.
and stuff and dating and stuff, and I think with a lot of people I think it's just not being confident enough or kind of having the courage to just put yourself out there. And I will say this: you women do have an easier time, though.
I
I don't know about
disagree.
that. I've been
I
struggling even
think
in terms
we're
of
both
friendship time.
looking at it from two different perspectives, so I don't think that there's
Hmm.
ever gonna be an answer to that.
Yeah, I
But
agree. I don't think some woman or male will either have it easier. I think we just have different
Well,
experiencing, and I feel like it's equally as hard with a person with CP because I'm 20 years old. I've only gotten played with guys. I even have a hard time forming friendship. Forget
mhm.
romantic relationships.
Well, and here's the thing though that people don't really realize is dating in general is just really difficult.
Yeah,
It's not
it's a
it's
really
not
challenging thing.
just because we have
well,
CP,
like
but
I never dated a guy with CP or anything. They
Mm.
just weren't like even though they tried to talk to me, they just didn't go for it, They never
Mhm,
tried.
Lacking
So
confidence.
yeah.
Right.
mhm.
It's not like you wouldn't have given the opportunity. It's just yeah, if someone's
Yeah,
not
it
gonna
would
go
have loved
forward.
to. Probably would have been good for us.
Right, because you share something that few people can connect with. But yeah, I think confidence is definitely attractive.
And that's the
And if
thing too.
someone can't come forward, they're never gonna be able to vouch for
I
you.
don't know about you guys, but I remember thinking when I was a teenager, after um, just a lot of bad dates and stuff, I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I want to try to find someone else with CP.
Mhm.
Today,
I
But
totally did. Yes.
but then I kind of looked at the negatives of it though too, and I was like, well, if I'm having a surgery or something, how are they going to take care of me if their body's, you know, kind of being just a nuisance to them, or vice versa or whatever. And so then I started looking at the pros and cons of that, and it's a really, really, really hard thing, because like it takes so much trust, and I'm sure, especially with you, Sarah, and that you have relationship and stuff experience too, that you felt that way, where you're like just really insecure and stuff at times, because you're like, how much of a burden am I being today?
Well, what I found it comes down to this. It's being realistic, but it's also communication. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I see people on Reddit, like guys on Reddit, I see a couple times saying, I want to marry this girl, but she has CP. Blah 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 blah. Will she be able to do this? Will she,
I can't.
And it pisses me off. You've been with this girl for how long? You should
Right?
know her. You should talk to her, not put your business
On
on
Reddit,
Reddit.
CP is different for everyone. How are gonna a bunch of strangers gonna help you?
It's
She knows
it's
her needs.
it's looking for attention. It's ridiculous.
Well,
Right, and
it's
like
Anyway,
you've been with her and clearly you love her, so you should
you know what?
do
Yeah,
more than her CP.
do you
exactly.
love her? Why?
Well, yeah, I'm like, so now it's making me question, like, do you
Yeah.
actually love her? But like,
Well,
you've been
yeah,
The
Well,
fact that
exactly.
CP is the only factor deterring their marriage, ugh, that gives me. Ugh.
It's mind-boggling to me how little a lot of couples know about each other.
Yeah, it's
You
really
know what I mean?
crazy. You could do
I
like a
guess, but
how well do you know
after,
me?
I
And
mean, we all keep secrets. That's who we are as
yeah, even
people.
in your most like intimate relationships, I feel like you don't fully ever disclose your authentic being to the T to someone, like your most basic self.
Well, when
There's always some
you,
parts that are hidden, intentionally or not.
like, Carson, do you live with your fiance?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you know her a lot more than when you didn't live with her,
Yeah,
correct?
you learn someone's quirk.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember that it was kind of weird because, um, just the overall like different living styles. Like
Mm-hmm.
like I like this done. I like this organized this way, or little things like that. And like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've always been as real as it gets. Like I don't. I've never been the type of person to hide shit because I don't really care. I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
Like I've never really thought like I've literally like laid it all out there. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is who I am.
I
This is
feel
my
like
goal.
we have to almost, though, because, like, all our insecurities are, like, on the outside. We cannot
Mm.
hide,
Hide them.
right? Like an average person,
Right, and
so.
so if you're trying to hide them, you're just not gonna get the help you need, and that
Well,
might
well,
cause resentment from the other
well,
person.
yeah, exactly. And for example, in myself, I've only been insecure about two things. Is obviously the way I walk.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, just my legs, and um, so just the way I walk. And I would say the second thing would just be my. I should just say my moodiness. I don't, because I'm a pretty temperamental person usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like the littlest thing and stuff like will piss me off, or like I don't know. When you guys were teenagers, did you guys find yourself like easily offended?
Um, kind of. I feel like that was me when I was more younger. When I was a teenager, I was mainly telling all my stuff, this horrible stuff. I went through some insane mental health shit. And so that was when I was younger. I would get bullied a lot. And so I get really offended easier. Even if it wasn't just my CP, I really cared a lot about my character and personality. So that would take a strike if someone like mentioned something about my character. But as a teenager, I kind of grew past it because I was telling all of myself this horrible stuff. For my late teens, like I was like, I've already told all myself this. Like what you say, I'm not gonna get offended by. So for me, it was my preteens where I got offended.
Yeah, and same thing with me too. Is it used to piss me off because like when people would like be like critical, I was like, I'm already the biggest critic of myself. Why the fuck are you doing it? It would just piss me off. Oh, excuse my language, that's a good one.
Right,
But
yeah, I get that.
but
No, because it's like reinforcing all these negative thoughts. That's when I was at my worst point mentally, and someone would critique me. I'm like, wow, even all these people think that, so it must be true.
you know,
And that's a
actually
lot to work through.
that brings up a good point. You know, I remember because Sarah has her daughter right there. I remember I was in the grocery store and me and my fiance we were checking out, and I remember something pissed me off, and I cursed out loud. And I
Uh-oh.
remember I looked over. It broke my heart. There was this little girl. She was looking at me, like in the next aisle over, and she was like that, with her mouth open. I
Right,
felt
like,
so bad.
oh, because
I
she's
felt
not
I
used to
felt
seeing someone walk like that, right?
Well, yeah, it honestly almost made me cry. Kind of like I was like, okay, I need to get out of here because I felt so bad because I was like, I was just like this little girl's eyes, and her eyes were so innocent, and I was like, I just said a horrible cuss word, and she heard me. I felt so bad.
Right, that little, but I guess from your perspective, it's like someone's judging you, but a little kid, theirs is just out of innocence. They're not
Oh
doing
yeah, oh yeah,
anything
oh yeah. It's just
cruel
out of pure
compared to someone
curiosity.
who's a little more older and aware
For
of their
and a
actions.
perfect example of that is usually in elementary school and stuff, kids were the sweetest to me.
Mine,
In middle school, don't get me wrong, and
No
stuff, people were always
way.
usually pretty nice, but there was always that person or two. Because usually with little kids and stuff, it's more out of curiosity, like, oh, why do you
Yeah,
walk that way?
exactly. Because they're not
Dude,
used to seeing
or
any different, right? They've kind of been sheltered. So the more that they get out, they start seeing
Meow,
different
meow,
people. So then they're
meow.
just gonna ask questions or stare out of curiosity.
Yeah,
Compared to someone who's
kids,
older, they're
I
more.
think kids are a little off put by me, but I start talking to them. They love me. Oh my god,
As they
they love.
should. Right, they've realized
They
that
love to
that you actually need
play. They love me. They think I'm one of their own.
Oh, I love that. They're like, whoa, she's really cool. Cooler than my mom.
Well, and I also think a part of that is just
Yeah.
because we kind of were probably alone when we were kids. You know, like we spent a lot of our time alone, and so there's still a
Sadly.
part of us from our childhood and stuff that likes to kind of, come back alive more than the average person. You
Right.
know what I
I
mean?
feel like because I've spent so much of my childhood alone and lonely, not by choice, but because I was unable to formulate real connections. And that now I crave being with someone, not just romantically, but like and it's really hard for me to be alone because I think it reminds me of those past times. It's like that trauma it comes back at to me. So when I'm alone, even though I
But and this is something I'm gonna say it's kind of deep, but with loneliness and stuff, that's just something you're gonna have to accept in life. All you ever got is yourself. That's all you ever got.
no,
We,
that's
we
a harsh truth I learned in
I mean, we were born into this world alone, and we're gonna die alone.
like
Yeah,
there
people can
are
be
people who care for you and who will be there for you, but at the end of the day, you only have yourself. You can't rely on other people for
and that's the
happiness
thing though
to show
is
up. You have to show up for yourself.
well, exactly, and you can't look at it as negative. I mean, it's a part of life. Like, it's like, for example, a lot of people have a fear of death. Why would you be afraid of death and stuff when
It's
you weren't
inevitable.
well when you weren't scared to be born?
Well, yeah, because
You weren't.
you didn't know you were gonna be born.
You know what I mean? And I believe in stuff. It's like with CP. I do know that our life expectancy, it's a little bit shorter than the average person by a handful of years, so not much. But I'm just saying stuff like, I, for example, the intrigue. I've always been scared to die ever since I was a kid.
Oh, really?
But
Can you
I
explain that? Because I've never really understood that. Why
but
people often.
well, it's just because like I've studied multiple different religions and stuff, and ultimately and stuff, I believe in stuff once we die and stuff. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I look at it as you kind of just graduated the world.
Oh, right. Yeah, you had your time and you get.
You know
That's
what I
cool.
used to be terrified of? So I'm a Christian, and my mom I was scared death too, right? And my mom would always say, "Oh well, if you die, you'll go to heaven, and it's a beautiful, wonderful place." But then you realize heaven is forever, and that was my issue. I'm like, forever? Like
Like you're
I don't
stuck.
want, I don't want to do it
Right,
forever.
it's like, right, you're like, no, I don't want to be
Like,
trapped. I want
what's
to go to heaven.
forever? What's eternity? To a little kid that's like,
Yes.
Yeah, it's not exciting despite being like painted as like a beautiful
Well,
picture.
and here's the thing though, is I think, like, I don't mean to sound dark or whatever, but
Go ahead.
like the reason I'm not like afraid to die or anything, because I'm like, why wouldn't I want to go to somewhere better than this? I mean, who wouldn't? Why wouldn't you want to go to in Sarah? And it's like, with that and stuff, like I can kind of relate to that. Like, I wouldn't describe myself as any religion. I'm just kind of like a, I don't know. I just look into it all because I find it all fascinating. But it's like that though, right? Why wouldn't you want to go to a place that's better? So why would you be afraid of it?
That's really interesting. You're like, oh, I guess the grass is greener on the other side. For me, I'm not afraid of it. I've never been. I was low key suicidal at one point, but I've never been afraid of it because I'm like, I'm here. I'm gonna try making the best, and whatever happens, happens. I'm kind of like a person who's like, go with the flow. Like, I
Hmm.
just like I know don't really have try having much control over anything because I know life will throw you anything. So I'm like, whatever happen is gonna happen. In terms of religion, since we talked about that, I'm not really religious. I my experiences and stuff like based off it's like personally I just realized like that it wasn't for me, but I do believe everything does primarily happen for a reason and good things will happen to good people even if it doesn't seem likely. But I'm really open to any religions. I think it's all really fascinating.
And you want to know something too? Is the way I look at it is I would rather die at age like 35 and live a life to the fullest and actually live every
Yes.
single day rather than and live to 70 and not live.
Yeah, a prolonged long life in misery or where you're not fully enjoying yourself. I'm like a shorter life, but where I'm actually reaching my full potential, having fun moments is worth so much more.
Well, exactly, and it's like I'm sure you guys have maybe wondered this. I'm like, gosh, can you imagine and stuff waking up in a better place and you don't feel that pain anymore and your legs don't hurt
Right, there
and
are some times where I will think like what my life would be like with CP. I'm like, I could do all these cool things,
you
but then I'm like trying to
so
remind myself that I still can do things that I'm really grateful to be able to do, and I'm still living a good life.
Yeah.
and I'll share with you guys a little personal story. I remember I've always been like a dreamer, right? Like I've
Good,
always
reach
like
for the stars.
well, no, like I mean like actual like dreams, like in my dreams, and
Oh, I
He's
and
don't
lucid,
dream. Or well, they say
baby.
you dream, but that you just forget it. So I guess I forgot.
I always remember mine.
That's
Um,
so cool.
but it's like I've had dreams and stuff where where I saw loved ones that have died, and there's nothing wrong with them. People that wore glasses, they didn't wear any glasses. People that had scars and stuff, they didn't have any scars, and their body was just like
Whoa, it's like
perfected.
opposite.
And and it's like things like that and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's something to look forward to someday. But for now, let's do the very best I can do
Focus
to
on reality.
get through every day, and that's the thing too is I think the best way to live is to live like you're dying. Live every single day like it's gonna be your last.
Right, instead of thinking you have all this time ahead of you, because I've realized like anything can happen, and so
Oh
it's
yeah,
really crazy. You can't just think of all this time to get
oh yeah.
shit
It's
done, because
it's
you really don't.
aging is so weird. It's like I remember when I was a kid, and you hear your parents talk about a store and it has a different name, but they still use the original name,
Hmm.
and you're like, "What are you talking about? It says it's so and so." And they're like, "No, no, it used to be this a long time ago."
Right,
It's
they're
so
like
weird that it's
stuck
like
to it.
I catch myself doing that now. You know what I mean? Where there's like a store that used to be something else 10 years ago, and someone's like, "Do you want to go to so and so?" I was like, "You mean so and so?" Because that was the original name,
Right, and
and it's
it's like
just
stuck in you. Right, like some stuff will be like just the OG name for me too, because it's like that's what you were raised on, so it's like ingrained in you to change that. Wait, I have
yeah,
a
and it's
question. Would you guys rather like go like to the past or like the future? Like if you could.
Hmm.
um, that's a
That's a
really good
good one.
question.
Hmm.
I probably okay. You mean if you can change anything, or if you can just kind of just observe?
Well, both. Say both. I want to hear
Okay,
both perspectives.
okay. Well, okay. So for instance, there'd only be like a thing or two that I'd change in the past, and in the
Of your life,
future,
or like, do you mean the world?
I'd say one thing in my life and one thing in the world.
What?
Okay. Well, the thing in the world and stuff that I would change would probably be to have technology stop about 2010.
Wow. I mean, I get that. I think there's a limit. I think where we're going is a very scary place. Even
Oh my God. Well, yeah. They're starting to come out with like brain chips and stuff for
That's
people.
scary. Did you know like that teachers can will be like replaced by a robot? I don't know how true that is or how near in the future, but the brain chip is so scary. Like what makes us humans is that we're all unique with our own cool ways of thinking, and now you're gonna. I feel like this world is moving towards a utopia. Okay.
I would love to see way, way back in like the 1300s to
Oh, the
1200s.
simple
I
world, like.
want to see what was going on in America. I want to see who was here. I want to see why the rainforests have like little spots where people used to live and stuff. I
Tribes
want,
and stuff.
yes, that. I love history. I love all that crap. I
Right.
want
So
to
it'll be so
know.
cool for you to relive
Yeah,
history.
I want.
Well,
That'd
well,
be so interesting to see.
you know what's crazy to me though is it's like we live in a consumer society, and people used to be so much happier with less.
Oh yeah, we were becoming way too
And
very
stuff that
materialistic.
we have so much money in this country, but we're one of the most depressed countries in the whole entire world.
No, you see other countries with so less like back like my family in India, and it's like they know how to go play outside, and that's enough. They know that they have a family waiting for them, and that's enough. But here, like people are just so consumed. I need the next best house. I need to get this car. Oh my God, all my friends have these cool backpacks with lights on them. I need that.
You know
It's
what
like.
people are the worst at? Phones.
Oh,
Upgrading
it's
phones all the
they're
time.
low key. The
Yeah,
parents are so right when they say it is that damn phone. It really is, no
it
matter how
is.
much you want to.
No, it
Don't
is.
let your kids go on YouTube or have a tablet. Oh my god.
Bro,
Don't
this
do it.
Gen Alpha, they have like a phone or a tablet, whatever you want to call it, out of the womb. Like my 1-year-old second cousin, like has broken an iPhone.
Don't do it,
He
guys.
knows how to use
Don't do it.
YouTube.
Well, and that's another good point though, because I remember, it's like, for example, when I have my own children, I'm not allowing them to go to public school at all.
I know.
What?
I was thinking about homeschooling myself. I'm
Well,
so on the fence with
You
that.
guys don't think that would stunt them socially in any way?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Because when you think about it, Sonia, a lot of people a long time ago in the 20s and 30s in the Great Depression era, a lot of them dropped out of school in the fourth or fifth grade and stuff because they had to
Yeah, in
help
the
the
older
farm.
times, I
Did
didn't
it
know.
stunt them socially? I think it just depends and stuff on how well of a social relationship you have with your children, and you teach them how to.
I think people are so worried about social stuff because they themselves are stuck, addicted to the cell phone and everything. They don't really understand the full picture. Do you take your kids to the library? Do you take them to nature center? Do you take them
Yes.
out? You know, that's social.
Right,
No
I
matter
can't
who's
stand when-
around, that's social. You know?
Well, and
Not giving your kid an iPad to shut them up. I know, okay,
No.
they're texting their friends, but
No.
yes, that's not. You need real life social.
well, and for example and stuff, like me and my fiance, we've had endless talks about these kind of things, and it's like I remember every single piece of dirt that I was ever exposed to as a kid. It was always because of other kids at school, or it was because of the internet. Every
Yep.
single piece.
Mm.
It's like, for example, I remember this kind of, well, it's sad because I was a little kid, but I remember I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I remember there was an older kid I was friends with, and he invited me to his house, and I remember he put on a porno,
Mhm.
Oh my god.
and
damn.
I remember and stuff. I there was a naked woman on the screen. I started crying.
Wow.
Because I didn't
You're
know
too
what it
young
was
for
or
that.
anything, and I remember like every single piece of education in that department I learned from either stupid kids at school or online.
Yeah, you
And
can
it's-
really get exposed to the
I
wrong.
had the same experience. I was like 7 maybe. I was so young. I was getting babysat by this woman. I have no idea who she is. But she wasn't home. Only her teenage daughter was.
Oh
And she was
god.
straight up looking at not just porn, but like hardcore. Like, I didn't know what it was then. It just made me feel so bad. I can remember that, like, feeling dirty almost,
Yeah.
you know? And,
Right, it felt
I
wrong.
can't believe she did that. I was
And it's something that you
7.
can't get out of your mind now.
well, yeah. It's like, Sarah, I'm sure you could say, like, I remember exactly what that woman looked like. Still.
Oh yeah, they had leather outfits on with like.
I'm sure that sticks with you.
I
Yeah.
can see it.
Oh, yeah, it's something that even you, although you're only 7,
But
and that's something you'll carry with
and
you.
that's the whole entire point, though, is all that stuff. It's like when parents say, "Oh, I want my kid to have friends." I don't want my kid to have friends. I don't want my kids to be friends with
I feel
with
like
other
there's a
people.
balance.
Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these kids and stuff are like their parents. They're fucked up just like their parents are. Their parents are messing them up. You know what I mean? And
Well,
so they're gonna.
yeah. It's really, when you're a parent, you gotta make those decisions at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
deadly. It's deadly. If you let your kid and stuff be around bad influences, and let's be honest, most kids in a public school in today's world are a bad influence.
Right, but you can
They
kind
are.
of control that with your kid. Is you don't want to control who their friends are, but you can teach them the right values where they will stick by
Yeah.
and meet like-minded friends. Obviously, because I've heard the saying, "Who your friends are kind of who you are," and I can see that because your friends are very influential. So
Oh,
I don't think you should limit your kid from having. I mean, I'm not telling you how to parent. Don't get me wrong, but just my perspective, like I feel like friends are very important. The right friends can motivate you, be there for you. So I feel like they do
but here's
provide.
see, and that's very true. That's very true, and I agree with you. But I don't think a lot of parents are involved enough in their child's
No, that's
friendships
where
to learn.
problem.
Okay, tell me things about your friends. Does your friends tell you anything bad? What are things that your friends have told you that you're unsure of? Because it's like, for example, a lot of my knowledge and stuff that I gained on just adult things or adult relationships, I gained from stupid people. And then
That's the thing is if your
here,
parents
here I was at
don't
19 or
believe you to
20.
until their source.
For example, when I was 17 years old, I didn't even know and stuff that all it took was one time to get a girl pregnant, all because of
Right, because
stupid friends.
nobody
And
had the open talk with you. Nobody wants to
exactly.
talk about that shit, but it's very real, and your kid.
Oh,
I feel like the parents
Oh
want.
yes, the pull-out method don't work, kids. Just to wrap it up. Just
but yeah,
saying.
it's like, for example, though, it's like with that, I didn't even know, and so here I was at the time trusting someone, because the girl at the time said that she couldn't have kids, and so here I was at the time and
And you're
so not taking any
naive.
not taking any precautions. I was like, oh, it'll never happen to me, and thank God it never did. But
But
it's
it
like
could have.
but it's like, for example, due to a lack of education and influence from others, I could have made a detrimental decision and been connected to that person that I wanted nothing to do with now for
Right,
the rest
just
of my
on the
life.
spur of the moment. That's a
Exactly, and that's why the lack of education is so.
Well, were you in Alabama at the time or
No, no, no,
Ohio?
no, no, no. I just moved. I just moved here like 6 months ago.
Okay, because I know
other
Alabama
states.
practices, like no sex before marriage, so
Right, no
they
marriage,
don't
like
even
they don't
teach
want to talk
you
about it.
sex ed.
But
So
but
I
see,
don't
but
know.
and this is another
Yeah, I didn't
controversial
have
topic.
sex ed.
This is another controversial topic, though. I believe the only people that should be teaching your children about that are you.
The parents.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. And
otherwise you can get it from the
you know
wrong
something though,
people.
I cringe so hard though when I hear parents say, "Oh, it's uncomfortable." It wasn't uncomfortable to make them, was it?
Right, you did it. And I feel like
It, it
that you're
ex-
making it uncomfortable by saying it's uncomfortable. If you want a close, intimate relationship with your children, you have to talk about the uncomfortable stuff and it will become comfortable and they'll trust that they can come to you when
oh
they
it,
need
it
that instead of having to feel like they have to hide everything. That only
uh,
causes more trouble.
oh
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm sure Sarah can attest to this too. It's I'm gonna be honest. I'm not scared to death of myself of being a parent and teaching. I'm scared of the world because it's so big now. Because you got to think about it and stuff. The old people that grew up on a farm 100 years ago, all they did was grow up on the farm and have a few people in a local town. Now there's social media. Now there's
Oh, social medias.
now the schools are overcrowded, and now it's like
Yeah.
all these different cultures and all these different mindsets are being mashed into one. And then, like I said, that's why I'll never ever send my kid to a public school.
Wait, so I'm really curious. What are your like rules or like mindset in raising Addie?
Oh, that is a full question.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I think it's very complex.
Right, there's so
What do
many
you
different
mean? Like, what specifically do you mean? Maybe I could be
trying to
more.
think. Like I don't know how like I guess she's young, so it's hard, but like I don't know, like maybe I'm meaning like in terms of like restrictions, talk like in regards to, like social media, like partying, I don't know, friends.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
'cause
gotta
she's so
handle that
young.
when it comes. But I know I just try to build her confidence up and make sure she respects people and
That's
she
so
can
sweet.
talk. She doesn't feel scared to talk to people or say what's on her
That's
mind.
so
I
important.
just want her to build her own self. And I do limit her TV. She doesn't
Good.
watch a lot of TV. She plays on her own really well.
Oh, off the screen, right?
Yeah, and
Good.
I found out, you don't have to spend all day with your kid. Obviously, I'm a stay-at-home mommy. I don't have a job, but I do have a lot of other things to do.
Mhm.
But before I thought, oh my god, I have to give her all my time. She needs all my time. Children need space to grow and
Yes.
find themselves. So yeah, I can spend 15 minutes with her on the, one-on-one, and she loves that, and that's enough, and then she can go do her own thing. And yeah, that's a big lesson I had to learn, because I was stressing that, we had to do all these big things all the time, like go to the zoo, that stuff
Right,
is
take her here, take her there,
important.
play with her.
right, it is important, but it doesn't have to be constant.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's really good because otherwise I think she would become so attached. She wouldn't, I think it's really important to be able to spend
Right.
time alone with yourself and have comfort in your own
Mm-hmm.
company. And you're teaching her for when she's a teenager, and that's really hard to do as in your teachers, be comfortable in your own mind. And I think that's such a good value. But at the same time, you're there for her. And I love specifically how you're teaching her to speak her mind and not be afraid to speak up because I feel like some people the way they're like brought up is like it's very hushed. It's like what I say goes, and so you that like ingrains in you later. You can never speak
Mm-hmm.
up, especially with authority figures or even with your friends. It's like you can never voice your mind, or if someone is doing something you don't like, you can't tell them no or that you're uncomfortable.
Well, here's the thing, though, is there are certain situations, though, that it's like, for example, I learned that there are certain situations where you just need to like shut up in life, whether you're young or an
Oh
adult,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely there are times.
because
Yes.
th- th- th-
You're gonna
there's
incriminate yourself or something.
there's some situations though where you could actually get hurt if you don't watch your
Absolutely.
Some
Some
watch your
people talk
words.
too much, and I'm like, bro, you need to shut up.
And that's the thing though is it's like there's some people and stuff that keep going. I'm like, eventually you're just gonna meet someone that's not even gonna let you finish your sentence and just crack you in the face.
I think that's where the respect aspect comes in.
Yeah.
Well,
You got-
but
Mhm.
sorry, Sarah, but I was
No.
just gonna say though, I think that's why you got to teach your kids self-respect, because if they self-respect themselves and they know what respect is and they have that towards
Mhm.
themselves, they'll respect other people.
Mhm.
Right, Sarah, what were you gonna say?
Oh, just that, I get that you want them to be their individual self and let them
Mhm.
talk, but you also have to show them respect
To other
and
people.
morals and all that stuff. They have to have that ingrained in them, or you know what, they won't think maybe too highly of themselves. I don't know
Yeah,
if
you don't
that's
wanna
what you were
raise one
getting
to
at,
see.
but yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, there has to be a
Build
balance and stuff.
confidence, but not ego.
Well, exactly, and
And
that's
don't
very
spoil them. They
Oh,
don't
spoil-
need everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they
you know
need to learn how to be told no sometimes.
a lot of people
Because they
can't
always
separate
think your
those
way in the
two.
real world.
Even
Yeah.
adults can't separate confidence from ego.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really bad. Like, there's confidence is good. You come across as you know what you want. You can go get it, and people will respect you. But when it gets to the point of ego, where you don't hear anyone out, you don't know how to listen, you can't hear another side, you always think you're right. That's where people are just not gonna respect you.
And it's hard and stuff too, because when I was a little kid, I was always taught look at people in their eyes when they're speaking to you,
Mhm.
and I remember I would get smacked if I didn't.
Oh.
And well, yeah, but here's the thing though, is a lot of people say, oh, that's bad or whatever. But here's the thing though, is guess what? For the rest of my life and stuff, whenever I've talked to someone, I've always looked at them right in their eyes, always.
Isn't that a guy thing too? Also with like a handshake, you want to be so firm, or
Oh no. I'm not like that at all. I
Oh
always
yeah,
hate
I've
when
heard
there's
people say that.
I always hate when there's some over masculine asshole and stuff where you just go to shake their hand and they try to squeeze your
Too
hand
hard, like
tight.
learn your bounds.
Oh yeah, that's
Toxic
always.
masculinity
Yeah,
is
I heard that before. Like I think that for sure.
Oh yeah, I don't
thing.
personally. I don't like shaking hands. I don't. I mean,
Are
most
you
men and stuff don't even wash their hands.
Oh no, it's so gross. Like, how can you
Disgusting.
go to the bathroom
Oh
and
my
like
God.
take a shit and then not wash your hands? Like,
Oh yeah,
so
you guys wouldn't
brutal.
believe. And so I remember when I was in high school, because I was like a big germaphobe. I remember I just sit against my locker in the bathroom. The sinks were actually outside the bathroom.
Ew.
What?
Well, no. Well, it was kind
Why?
of well. Okay, so for example, it was kind of like it was an old school. The school was pretty old, and so you had the bathrooms, and then it kind of wrapped around in like a circle, and then there was a sink on one side for the males, and then one sink on the other side for the females, and so that whole part was open. And I remember and stuff. You wouldn't believe how many even girls I seen just walk out and not even wash their hands. I was like,
That's
Like-
weird. But I'm even more weirded out by the sink situation. I've never had that before.
That's so
odd.
weird to me that the sinks aren't in the bathroom. I don't know if
fixating
they're
on the
forgetting,
sink.
but that's not an excuse.
well, it's like I said though. It was a really really old school, I mean, it was built in like the 40s.
Yeah. What?
Oh,
So
when
it,
it was
so
never
Where was
renovated.
it?
so it was really old, but yeah, I remember and stuff. Well, the only reason I remember that specifically is because I got a really bad nosebleed in class,
Mm.
and I remember there was like a trail of blood going from the classroom to the bathroom because my nose was bleeding so much, and that's the only reason I remember that. But no, it's like that always grosses me out, and so honestly, I don't really like shaking hands with people. It's not because I don't respect them. It's just I think it's
A
kind of gross, and there's no reason that I think that's just kind of like an American culture thing. I don't believe there's any reason and stuff in order to say that you respect someone that you shake their hand.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. I personally don't like shaking people's hand because my hands get sweaty, which is really embarrassing. I don't know why. Even it could
Oh, they
be
get all clammy.
snowing. No, not my left hand. My left hand's unaffected, but just sweaty. And it's like even it could be snowing, and my hand will be like sweating a fucking storm. And plus, like I always have to shake with my left hand. I can't shake a hand with my right hand, so it's always awkward. I put out my left hand, and then they have to switch. Shaking hands is it for me. I'm like, oh, hello, will do.
Hey, just thank the stars and thank the heavens and stuff that you're not in a country where they kiss their cheek and stuff for
Wait,
respect.
that's so cute to me. I have a Russian friend, and her mom would do that. And the first time I was like a little taken back. It's a culture shock. But then the next few times I would kiss her back like, mwah, and I'd even do the second cheek as a little bonus. And my friend was like, my mom
That
really
would
loved when you did that.
that'd weird me out so much. This is
No.
a funny story. Is
I think I come
I
from an
rem-
affectionate culture too, so I don't know.
it's so funny and stuff. I remember I was in a store, right, and there was this woman there. She was dressed in a cute outfit and stuff, and she had a son, and her son was like goofing off, and all of a sudden she was Russian, and she like said like her like Russian and like such like a stern voice. Her kid immediately like straightened up and stopped. And
That's right.
I was like,
He knows he's
I know,
doing
but
better.
those Russians and stuff to hear them speak, it's so
They have a
cool.
very man, get out of here voice, right?
I feel like just like their accent's kind of harsh when they talk. Like same thing with
Very
German.
harsh, yeah.
Yeah, yes,
They might not even be yelling or mad, but just the way
just
their
sounds
language
stern.
is, it sounds very
Like,
harsh.
I think a lot of those European countries are like that, like
I
Well,
definitely.
Russian.
Okay,
well,
but
and
I
another
don't
Can't
think.
think of
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Well, I honestly love and stuff hearing other cultures speak and stuff. It's fascinating to me.
No, that's why I love traveling so much. Is I just love I love exploring other cultures, the way they speak, the way they live, the food they eat. Their holidays, I don't know. It's all just so exciting to me, and livens up my life. I feel instead of just this kind of way I'm accustomed to.
Okay,
You
what's
can learn a
go
lot from culture and stuff. And
Mhm.
that's a beautiful thing. They have their own stories and beliefs, and
I love hearing about
it's
other
good to
people's.
know and good to be take away some of your perspective and just listen to what they have to say also.
what's 3 countries that you guys want to visit?
Mm.
Japan, Switzerland, and Italy.
Mm. What about you, Sarah?
I really want to go to Australia. Oh,
That
no
would be
Australia?
cool, but I've
It's
heard
so
there's exotic
beautiful.
bugs which scare me.
Yeah, and then Ireland and England. I really love
I
those.
love England. Oh my god.
Have you been?
I've only been to London. I haven't been to other parts of England, but I'm literally in love with London and I want to live there.
Well, the reason about London and stuff that attracts me is just how historical everything is. Like
Oh, there's so
they're
much history.
they're not like here. That's what I hate about America now is we just tear down everything that's old.
That's the problem. I feel like Americans can low-key be very ignorant because they're used to this one way of living and anything that's different. I'm not saying all Americans, but
Yeah,
they're just
I don't
raised, like,
think that you can't say all. No way.
No,
you
you could
know.
never say all for something, right? There's exceptions,
Right.
but I just know quite a few Americans from my personal experience where they don't care to see other ways of the world, not because they just think it's the best here, which is something I don't like because I feel like other countries, Europe, Asia, they all have some novelties that Americans don't use that are really helpful.
Hmm. Well, yeah, and that's the thing too about like getting back to England and stuff that's so cool is they actually preserve their history. They don't get
Yeah,
rid of it. Like
but they
they're
also
building.
steal other countries' shit.
Well, in their buildings though are so like some of them like go back to like the Victorian era. and stuff, you know, and it's like
No,
it's
I've
so
seen some
interesting.
cool stuff.
It's so interesting in the castles and
Oh,
just the
I loved
monarchy
Windsor's
and
castle.
all
Oh
the
my
history and
god.
stuff. It's so cool. You know, it fascinates me that like Queen Elizabeth, for example, was I think she began being the queen in like the 40s. I mean, so she's queen for almost.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
was
like
queen for like
Decades. Yeah.
ages.
yeah.
I
I mean, and
actually
that's
went to Windsor's castle, and they had like when that flag is like raised, you know she's in the castle. So I was in the castle the same time as she was, but I didn't get to meet her, obviously. But that
yeah,
was
it's pretty
still pretty
cool.
dope to be in the same
And
proximity.
when did you go there? Was it for like a class trip or was it with your parents or?
It was with my parents and my brother. I went out in the summer between my junior year and freshman year of college. We went to London, then we went to India, and then we went to Thailand. And, yeah, it was pretty.
Wow. How was
Thailand would probably be
Thailand?
interesting.
Thailand is so like I love the people are so nice. Obviously, their English isn't strong. You can't blame them. We're in their country, so it's my fault. I don't know their language. But they were the sweetest people ever. I like we got like full body massages and for like way cheaper than you get here. I love like their night markets. Like they have such cute like little trinkets and just like such cool cultural stuff. And like they're and we went to Bangkok and they have this like road called Bungalow Road, which has like the best nightlife ever. And we rode elephants. That was pretty fire. And we walked up so many stairs, which I
Jealous.
was low key tired after walking all those stairs up. But we got to see Big Buddha, and it had like so many flags. That was really cool.
I do know though, in like a place like that, they say that to not wear like expensive jewelry or anything, just because the like street crime can be
Oh
high.
yeah, especially at those night markets, a lot of like pickpocketing goes on. I feel like that's for
Mm.
any country, but yeah, in those places you want to have like a zipped bag. Don't keep it behind you.
Yeah, or a Rolex or.
Yeah, no nice stuff. I not don't wear branded. Okay, guys, so we're gonna wrap this episode up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know we covered a slew of topics unrelated to a day in the life with CP, but we will be doing that next time.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
So don't worry. We that will definitely be coming in the very near future. But I hope you enjoyed a little more raw, our random conversations that we have when we aren't filming. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we want to be a voice for the CP community, offering our experiences, our insight, and our advice. We want to help anyone feeling alone. We want to build people up, and we want to shed some light on those that maybe don't have CP. Additionally, we strive to create an engaging environment. So follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and email us if you have any questions. We love to hear from you, and we love that you support us. Thank you so much.
Oh, and I just want to say, please, like, use like comments below, like what you want to see. And I really want to do like a Q&A. So if you guys have like questions or like you need
Yes, I love
advice,
that.
please, like our comments are open. Please comment anything.
Yes.
Just not hate. Thank you.
No hit. Alright, bye guys.
Bye.
Sayonara.